Hello, I recently met a single man with whom we have a lot of mutual acquaintances, but we only met on social networks. We have been communicating for about a month. He always writes to me first, shows interest, and it is noticeable that there is a mutual attraction. However, up to now, his communication has been limited. He has not shown me with words or hints that he likes me, he has not flirted with me, and at the same time, he does not stop looking for me. To this day, there has been no invitation for a meeting from his side. I want to note that during this 1 month, he had a lot of trips outside the country and was not in Bulgaria. But he has not even taken the initiative to plan a meeting and tilt the topic in that direction. I don't know if it is appropriate to continue to invest energy in these relationships, and I do not know what the problem is with his limit. I accept any advice, opinions, and criticism. Thank you.
Okay, first things first. If this situation feels confusing to you, I want you to know that that makes perfect sense. When someone's actions and their lack of action don't line up, it feels like you're trying to solve a puzzle with half the pieces missing. It's honestly draining, and it can be really disorienting. So let's dive in and break down what's actually going on here. This slide just lays out the whole contradiction perfectly. On one hand, you've got these clear green lights. They write to you first, and they do it regularly. That's a classic sign of interest, right? But then, on the other hand, it's like that interest is being kept behind a glass wall. The communication is guarded, and this is the big one. There's zero concrete action to move things into the real world. So this isn't about a lack of interest. It's about a very real barrier. So, naturally, that leads us to the big question. Why? Why would someone put in the effort to show interest, but at the very same time, keep you at arm's length? Now, it's really important to remember that what we're about to explore isn't about making excuses for their behavior. Think of it more as an orientation, a way to understand the potential things happening on their side of the equation. There are a few common reasons this kind of pattern shows up. It could be simple emotional cautiousness, a fear of getting vulnerable. Or maybe they are genuinely unsure of what they want, and this ambiguous space feels comfortable and safe to them. It can also be linked to an attachment style that deeply craves closeness, but is terrified of the risk involved. Of course, they could also be emotionally involved somewhere else, or they might just be used to getting that little hit of validation from virtual intimacy without ever needing to take a real step. So this next part is the most important thing I'm going to say. Whichever of those reasons might be true, or even if it's something else entirely, it is not a reflection of you, it is not about your worth, and it is not something you did wrong. These are their internal patterns, their own stuff that existed long before you ever came into the picture. Please let that sink in. And understanding that allows us to make the most important pivot in this entire process. We've been looking outward, trying to figure out someone else's internal world. Now it's time to shift the focus back to the one place where we have all the power, right back to ourselves. You know, this is our default setting, isn't it? We immediately try to diagnose the other person. We ask, what's their problem? We spend so much mental energy trying to solve the puzzle of their behavior. But ultimately, this question keeps us powerless. It keeps us stuck in a holding pattern, waiting for them to give us the answers. Now, just take a breath and compare that to this question. Is what I'm receiving enough for me? Can you feel that shift? The power comes right back to you. Suddenly, it's not about their problem anymore. It's about your needs, your boundaries, and what truly satisfies you. This question puts you squarely back in the driver's seat of your own life. So let's just get really honest about the current dynamic. On one side, there's your investment, your emotional energy, your time, your expectations. And on the other side, there's their offering, which is presence, yes, but a presence without any clear direction. It's not moving forward. Just seeing this imbalance clearly is the first real step toward changing it. Okay, so once you've seen that imbalance and you've reframed the question around your own needs, what do you do next? Well, the good news is you're not powerless here. Not at all. There are several really healthy, proactive options you can take to get your sense of control back. Here are 3 solid paths forward. First, you can choose to clarify the situation, gently and directly. Second, you can simply decide to withdraw your extra energy and just observe what happens. Or third, you can accept the situation for exactly what it is, this presence without direction, and then decide if that's something you actually want in your life. If you choose that first option, to clarify, it doesn't need to be some big, scary confrontation. Not at all. This right here is a perfect example of a calm, clear, and totally non-pressuring way to open that door. It's not an ultimatum, it's just a request for clarity. It's respectful to both of you, and trust me, their response, or even their lack of a response, is going to give you all the information you need. And to help you make all these decisions, let's just set a clear, honest benchmark. It's so easy to get lost in all this ambiguity. So let's define what genuine, available interest actually looks like in the real world. Look, an emotionally available person who is genuinely interested in you simply doesn't operate this way. They don't wrap their interest up in a mystery. They aren't afraid to take a small, tangible step forward. And most importantly, they do not leave you guessing and analyzing their every move for weeks and weeks on end. So if we boil all of this down to one simple takeaway, it's this. Interest without action doesn't mean they're just busy or they're just shy. It means they're actively maintaining a safe distance. It is a very clear sign that they are not ready to truly connect, and the reason why doesn't really matter.
And so we land right back here with the only question that truly matters. Now that we've unpacked the whole dynamic, you have the clarity you need to answer this for yourself. When you are faced with interest without action, is it enough for you? Your answer to that question will guide you toward the kind of connection you truly want and deserve.